Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to OCAST, your island gateway to all things geek. And it's time for a little bit more wrestling. And it really has been a long time, Graham, since we've been on together. How you doing, Graham? Graham, are you hearing me? I think you're muted, Graham.
Oh,
That's a
good
good start.
start. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Don't even know to unmute. It's been a long time. I'm doing good, constantly busy, but raring to go with this. And this one's been a long time coming as well.
Yeah, and it's quite a special one as well because I think a lot of the conversations, Graham, you'll have faced them when you're a wrestling fan is why follow this? What's it good for? And this is like the importance to these guys right now doing wrestling in the times that they live in. Uh, you know, they're living in very uncertain times, very dramatic times. So, and the importance of good storytelling and entertainment is even more
Yeah.
valuable to them. So, with that, it's Ukraine Wrestling Arena, and a selection of their talent has come along to join us. So, we'll start off. If my notes are right, Konstantin, welcome to the show, and you're the founder of Ukraine Wrestling Arena.
Yeah, hello, good evening. Great to be here. Thank you. Yes, I'm the founder of Ukrainian Wrestling Arena. Yep. And let me introduce my colleagues that are also here. So Adam Gard is our extreme champion. Right now he's on his way to the show that will take place tomorrow. Yeah, he will be defending his title. Yeah, and Jake, this is, I think, most experienced Ukrainian wrestler. He started. I think, he was the first Ukrainian wrestler of new generation. Let's say. Yeah.
Okay, and so we'll start off with you, Konstantin. Like, what's your experience? Is wrestling something you grew up with in Ukraine? Has it always been a big
Um,
part of Ukrainian culture, pro wrestling?
um, no, the thing is, it was very hard to find something about wrestling and so on when I was a kid. But somehow I was so actually I'm from Odessa. This is my hometown, and I was like 7 years old. We were visiting our friends in Kiev, and there I saw wrestling on TV, on cable TV. It was rare thing in the beginning of 19th in Ukraine, and I was like, wow, what am I seeing right now and what it is? And I became a fan, but there was no wrestling on TV, only on cable TV that was showing some, I don't know, Eurosport or something, some TNT. Yeah, and yeah, there were no wrestling on TV, but somehow my friend has this cartridge on Sega, WrestleMania Arcade. Yeah, uh, still in love with this game. Uh, yeah, and yeah, somehow like this, my love to wrestling has started, and yeah, then a bit later, like 5 years later, maybe a bit more. Uh, there was some TV channels started to show wrestling. Yeah, then it was more easy to find. Let's say,
Yeah.
uh, I think it was WCW.
All right.
Yeah. Then in the beginning of 2000s, another channel started to translate to stream, not stream. It was their contract was limited, so they were showing this in records. So they're starting to show WWE programming. Yeah, so
Yeah.
something like
And
this.
I'm quite
It's a good
curious.
time
Like,
to have been getting into it. So, for certainly us of a certain age, that's probably peak time because peak Attitude Era, NWO, I mean, I'm a huge WCW fan. It was my first promotion. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carl.
Yeah, and it's a question I want to ask there. Like you said, like obviously in the early '90s, pro wrestling wasn't a big thing in Ukraine. Did it take a while for like pro wrestling? Because I think back the culture was it was Olympic wrestling. It's like when you said wrestling, they think of the Olympic, obviously from the
Yes,
Soviet
yes,
Union
yes.
days. And so, has it taken a while for pro wrestling to be accepted in Ukraine?
Yeah. It's still not completely accepted, let's say. Still, many people are saying, it's circus, it's jokes, it's like it's fake and so on. Like, the standard hater things. Um, yeah, actually, it's because of the history. I can spend a lot of time telling, explaining how. So the funny thing, before revolution in 1917, I think, there was a lot of professional wrestling in on the territory of Ukraine, so the Russian Empire in that time. There was like more than 170, I don't remember, more than 100, let's say, close to 200 wrestling organizations. It was called French wrestling at that time, or cage wrestling, but yeah, it was wrestling. But then, in time of Soviet Union, everything was like ruined, let's say. Yeah, I will not dig into details, but let's say in 30, 50 years, Soviet government has made wrestling impossible and put it almost to zero. So many guys who wanted to wrestle went to, let's say, to Japan, to Bushido and so on, or to USA or somewhere else. Yeah. So when so we were not the first wrestling organization in Ukraine after Soviet Union, let's say. I think we were like a professional organization. We were second. First organization were Gladiator Fight Club. Yeah, Jake, right. So Jake was there, one of the first wrestlers, and it was, I think, very hard in that time, and it was hard when we have started Ukrainian wrestling arena. So yeah, but something has changed in the people mentality when the war has started. They start maybe a bit earlier. The people started to accept things that they have they haven't accepted before, or they discovered new things for them that they weren't aware that even exists in Ukraine. For example, wrestling and us. So yeah, and I can see Yaroslav has joined us. Hello.
Hi.
Hi there, welcome Yaroslav. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry for me late. Hello guys.
It's no problem at all.
Let me quickly introduce. Here's the voice of our shows. Our commentator, Yaroslav.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just one more thing. Like obviously with the wartime, what I've found is because I know there's some Ukrainian refugees living where we are as well, and I've found like things like stand-up comedy, Ukrainian stand-up comedy, and arts and game. I think there's this need for stories in there during times like this, having entertaining stories, and that's what wrestling ultimately provides us in it. These kind of stories that help people escape.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, sure. Actually, yes. Right now, many people come to our show just to feel some positive energy, to be connected with other people, to let's say, how to say, to forget about problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Graham, do you want to come in there?
Yeah, I was just thinking, in terms of building the promotion from nothing to what it is now, Constantine, how have you done it? It's quite remarkable. But,
Uh,
from looking in from a distance, it's really quite something special.
it was really a long way, a hard way. So uh, when we started, uh, yeah, okay, we started with a good show on a festival where there were a few thousand people, and yeah, it was great. And but then uh, I was like in a pink glasses, like somehow thinking, okay, the first show was so cool, and we were so great, so accepted by the people. But then the second show, only one ticket was sold. Yeah, but yeah, step by step, we started to build the things. The thing is, it took us a really long time. So in August it will be 10 years since we started, uh, and only a few years ago we get, let's say, on the level when we can somehow call ourselves uh, all you let's say professional and so on. So we get big we get good technical side, filming, uh, backstage. We created a good backstage team uh, because so we have started in Odessa, and I was like doing this everything for the first time. I have no one to ask about how to do and so on, so on. And it was going so. Maximum we have 50 people, so people on our show and so on. But I was learning meanwhile and so on. And after, actually, uh, after in early days we were focused on developing, let's say, the local scene, building roster, and trying to produce some regular shows. And yeah, we were like searching for identity, so on, but developing our fan base, promotion, and after full scale war began, we put everything on pause, on hold for like year, because many wrestlers stepped away from the ring. Some joined the military forces. Some were focused on volunteering and so on. And but after that time, yeah. Uh, uh, we were proposed to make a show in Kiev on a festival. We agreed, and after that, the organizers of that event proposed us to move to Kiev and start doing wrestling there, and we did that. And after that, we uh, we have made a big uh, let's say jump to another level. So we increased our technical base. We gathered a team. Uh, yeah, and from that time we started to grow. Let's say. So it was like already 100, 150, and more visitors on our show. Uh, yep. So in the like So to get where we now, we spend like 10 years, and a lot of work were put into. Yeah, and we still learning. We still, yeah, developing. Let's say.
Yeah. And I think there we can bring in. I say I've got it down that Jake, you are one of the most experienced and long term. So how did you get involved in this?
So, at first it was me and a couple of friends. We were doing backyard wrestling because there was no ring, there was no wrestling school in Ukraine, but we always wanted to, to be pro wrestlers, and the only way was to do whatever we can. And we weren't just like, stupid guys who would like hit each other with like uh, home appliances and stuff. No, we tried to actually like emulate the actual wrestlers. Like we would try to put together like coherent matches, and we worked a lot on like improving our techniques and stuff. And then I was like one of the guys who would always do like all kinds of highlight reels of our shows. So I was always present somewhere around the internet, and eventually one of the guys, there was a guy from Crimea. His name is Spartacus, which is not like usual name for this like area, but that's his real name. And he reached out to us and he said that he always wanted to be like he always wanted to promote pro wrestling, and at the time he did something similar. He had like mud fighting with girls, but it wasn't just like this sexy show where
Yeah.
it was just cat fighting. No, he actually found like girl boxers, girl like wrestlers, and they would do like real fighting. Well, not like real, but like it wasn't just like some like fetish thing. It was like a sport show,
Yeah.
and it was actually like really well put together. So, but he found us, and after we talked, he said that he's gonna build the ring. And as soon as he built the ring, we came over, and that's how we started like doing stuff in the ring. And yeah, that's how it all started. So we were mostly based in Crimea. We would do these like it was like a tour. Like we would go there for the whole summer, and we would do like 30 or like even more like wrestling shows in like 6 or 8 weeks. So it was like a really cool but a very unique experience. And eventually there was a guy in Belarus who is actually like a catch wrestling practitioner, and he was a friend of Yoshiaki Fujiwara from Japan. They were like pen pals, and he even like at some point after I got trained underneath him, he went to Japan and he would do like catch wrestling seminars at Fujiwara Dojo. Yeah, and they had also working relationship with Zero One, the Japanese promotion, and they were even called Zero One Belarus at the time. Yeah, so that was my breakthrough into the business.
Right. Graham, you can come in there.
Okay. I'm thinking that as such an experienced member of the roster, you probably bridge the gap between the sort of original Ukrainian wrestlers and the new wave, the guys like Ihor Turam. How would you say that the locker room culture has changed over the years, and what's the piece of advice you find that you're giving the guys more and more each time, or the thing you keep coming back to?
Well, I would say that the locker room is more or less the same, like as any wrestling locker room anywhere. It's just a bunch of guys being guys together. So not really different in that regard, but I would say it's a much more professional environment because when our group started, we had some guys who would go on like they would drink before matches, or they would like do some stupid stuff. But right now, I would say a lot of the guys are more professional. Like they don't drink until after the show, all this stuff. Like, so it's much more cultural in that regard. As far as the advice, it depends on the person. Like, but usually what I say, like, I like to approach all the like the rookies, and usually just give them all the regular stuff, like slow down, like don't rush, like try to work with the people, with the audience, I mean. And I think that's one of the things that can really like improve a lot over the time. Is I always like tell people that they should involve the audience into the
Yeah.
matches, because our shows, yeah, we have like 200 300 people at the show, but it's still not like a level of WWE show where you have like
Yeah.
5, 10, and more thousand. Like, you can still get those 200 people like more involved. So
Yeah.
that's my main like piece of advice that I'm going around and giving to people.
Yeah. And I'm quite curious about the character you made. Like, how did your character come about with the wrestling? Like, and how's it changed? Obviously, with the events of the war, has that affected your character as well in the ring?
So when I started out, I was doing like a clown gimmick, but then when Spartacus brought us in, he was like, "Nah, clown gimmick is kind of like silly," and he and he gave me a gimmick of a gypsy, which is also silly, but because my real name is Yakov, it was like a reference to a Soviet movie, so it was kind of like in like people knew like who's that name referencing to. And over time, I would say that I would just portray myself, like 90% of the time, even though I was called gypsy and whatever. I would still, and I do have some like roots, like my mother has, like her grandma was a gypsy or something, so it's not like completely bogus. But yeah, I would say I would just be myself, and I didn't change much after the war started. The only difference is right now, being here in Spain, I started like when I'm working as a babyface, I would come out with the Ukrainian flag and all this stuff. And right now, I'm working on getting a new gear, and part of my gear will have reference to the Ukraine as well.
Yeah.
So I
And
would say it kind of like I started implementing that identity
yeah.
into the gimmick
And
a little bit.
just curious, as you've been wrestling abroad, like how is the, making it more Ukrainian? How's that gone down with crowds? Have you found?
I would say when I'm working as a heel, it reminds it's more like old school stuff. Like I
Yeah.
would always get people shouting like "Get back to your country" and stuff. But when I'm babyface, the people are really cheering because they are like still sympathetic to the
Yeah.
to the Ukrainians and the war and stuff. So yeah, I would say usually the audience reception is really good. It doesn't matter like if I'm babyface or heel.
All right. Graham, anything else you want to come in there again?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is with obviously everything that's going on in Ukraine, is it hard to keep, or is it harder to keep the morale and the positivity in the locker room up? Or is the common purpose of trying to entertain people enough that it keeps everyone on the same page?
Actually, a little bit hard because of the situation. People are more nervous, more getting stressed, easily getting angry, distracted. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a bit harder than it was before, but we're trying to keep up.
Do you
Yeah.
end up feeling that you have that there's almost more responsibility on you as a promotion to provide that entertainment for people?
Yes, sure. Because uh, we uh, So each show carries, let's say, emotional weight for performance and fans. The place where they can uh, relax a little bit, and also as a reminder that Ukrainian wrestling is, yeah, still alive, let's say, and we are still wrestling and surviving as our country, let's say. Um, yeah. Also, UAA also during events organize charity auctions supporting our airmen forces. So yeah, wrestling becomes not only the entertainment but also a direct contribution, let's say, to survival efforts.
Yeah, all right. Okay, and with that, I think we'll bring in Adam, the current champion. Can you give us your story, how you got started in wrestling, and how you ended up with in UWA?
It was the first time when I saw the Ukrainian wrestling. It was on the event called Fun Expo. I was a kid, like 14, 15 years old. I saw wrestling. I was with my friends, and they look at it and just laugh. But I see and believe in the future of wrestling. I joined the fan chat of Tiny Wrestling Arena and said one day I will become wrestler. And then I go to every show. I have contact with wrestlers when I was a kid, and I have them now. And after
Can I ask you to talk a bit louder? I
Yeah,
think you have some network problems. Just
yeah,
will repeat.
maybe like
It's
this, it's better.
yeah. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, much
Perfect,
better.
perfect. So yeah,
Okay,
just if you can just start off again. Sorry about that.
Sorry, just a second. Just because he's traveling to the show that we will have tomorrow.
All right.
By the
I'm in
way,
a bus around now. Yeah, I have to start from the start.
Yeah, yeah. We start from the beginning. Sorry. Oh, oh, perfect.
uh,
Start from the beginning, please. So with that, I think we can.
Good.
no.
You're
Yeah,
back. Let's,
you're
so
back.
if you can start from the beginning, like how did you get started in wrestling and end up in the UWA?
Um, After 10 years, when I saw wrestling for the first time, uh, I want to go to the wrestling school, but in Odessa, uh, it was closed when I want to do this. And after like half year, uh, they said we open school again in Odessa, and I got trained by Pepsi Cola. It was one of the first wrestlers I saw in the Ukrainian wrestling arena. And I always think he's rude. I don't like him in the ring. But I went to the training and met him for the first time, like eye to eye. I saw he's awesome man and good coach. After half year of trainings,
Oh no, are you still there, Adam?
Let's yeah.
I
Yeah,
see a lot
it's
of
cut.
people and it's cut.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out quite a bit. So, all right. Where did he reach there? I can't remember. Graham, can you remember where he reached before it cut out?
No, I was struggling to
So
keep up.
I I let me tell the story. I know his story. So
Right.
I think first time Adam saw us, it was our first show at Fun Expo festival, and yeah, as he was saying, he was trying to get into our school, but we have no school at this time. So we opened our own school. So we started in 2016 and opened our school in 2017. I think the year later. Yeah. Uh, then we then I think a bit later Adam joined us, started his training under Pepsi Cola training, coaching. Yep. And is your network get back? Is your network back, Adam? Or not yet?
Here.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's.
Uh,
I think
I have to
best.
go.
Hello, can
Yep.
you hear us?
Okay. Here, but
probably.
I in the bus, but I have bad internet, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
How long will the bus journey
Sorry
be?
for this.
If maybe when the bus stops, it might be the best option to pick up again. Yeah.
I think the road will take like.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
six
have to
hours.
leave in, I think.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Adam. It's just it's not working. We might have you on the show on your own, and then we can tell your story. Then might be the best option. When you've got a stable
Yeah.
connection. Yeah. So with that, I think we'll go over to Yaroslav. So if I've got my notes correct here, you are a commentator and a writer. So again, the same question: how did you get involved with wrestling? Has it been something in your life the whole time?
Actually, it's like a kind of interesting story because we had like a wave of popularization of the wrestling via WWE on the TV network. It was like year 2010 till 2013, and when I was like in middle school, I like the other boys wanted to be like these guys, wanted to do such things, but unfortunately for that time I didn't know about the wrestling schools, and as we know, there was no wrestling school at all. So yeah, that was like a love from the first sight for wrestling, but then it came to nowhere. There was like a slight wave in 2016. Maybe I felt something like Ukrainian Wrestling Arena has been created, and that's what it was like a huge like step up into the wrestling again. And after this, in 2023, I think, I was streaming on TikTok and I was like playing the WWE games and commentating at the same time. And one of the roster members, it was Skella, extremal champion of UWA. Like he invited me with the message, "Hey, do you want to see the real wrestling show?" And I say, "Sure thing." When, where? He told me that was 9th of December 2023 in Kiev. So I packed my bag and arrived to the show. Then I met some people on the roster. And the first thing that I like took a look and mentioned that was the ring announcer. I'm sorry to tell him this, but he was awful. It's like an actor who been a host of the weddings, funerals, dog birthdays, etc., etc., etc. I thought I can do better, and then I reviewed the recording of the show where I was like a guest, and I listened to the commentary, and I was like, maybe it was like too selfish from my side, but I thought I could do better. And I tried to the one of the wrestlers also two times extremal champion of UWA, trying to reach out to Kostya. That I say I can do the commentary. Kostya was like, hell no, we already have a commentary, so no. And then somehow he approved my my candidate. Oh my god. Somehow he put me into the comment section, and I started to write it like afterwards, after the montage. We had a great team up with Hargang Grayson. He was also in the commentary, like there was two of us. And then there was like, oh my god, it was the beginning of the May 2024. And finally, finally that previous ring announcer beat the hell out of the guys, and he said, "I'll leave, so let it be." And when I heard this piece of news, I thought maybe I can try it. I always like wanted to try it because I'm singing in the free time, and why not? I have like a strong voice, etc., etc. Kostya again was so skeptical about this decision. And as far as I know, I see you look, you were skeptical about that. Like, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. 3 days before the show, I have a message from Kostya. Okay, let's go to the Kyiv. You'll be the ring announcer. And I was like, 3 days. I can like get any ticket to the railway station. I have no clue how do I get to Kyiv from Dnipro. And I'm okay. Let's do it. I somehow found a ticket, arrived at Kyiv, made my first show. Of course, there was slight mistakes because I have never been like a ring announcer before, but the voice, I did great by the voice. And after the show, I planned to leave back to Dnipro, where I was living at this time. And I was heard that the next day after the show, we gonna do the festival program. And I was like, nice. Thanks for telling me this right now. I tried to like reschedule the tickets, find another ones, and as the result, we did like a great show as it could be. The problem in Ukraine is when you go to the show to the events like not really wrestling related. That was the Tattoo Fest. There was the festival where actually were tattoo masters, maybe some music, stuff like this. And here we go, we have a wrestling program. And there was like a lot of not a sober people. And there was like some one-time changes because at the last time something get effed up. But we did it like quite well, and after this time I was a ring announcer for the long period of time. About writing, another story. Oh my god, it was the end of 2023 or 2024. I don't quite remember when we ran the first undergrounds. Do you remember where it was, when it was?
2024.
Oh yeah, at the end of the 2024, we started like to think about the like smaller show, a smaller show for the like quite cozy lamp audience. You know, in wrestling, lamp audience is something hardcore related. And we came up with the idea of underground, and at that time there was only 2 writers, and like I just come up with some ideas, and somehow we decided that I will keep the writing process for the underground shows, and afterwards I started to like give some ideas about the main show, and this is how I become the writer.
And I'm just curious, like writing as well, and do you try and keep it very Ukrainian, like the stories and that you put in? Like, do you try and avoid, like, for lack of a bit, making it too American, and try to keep like some Ukrainian flavor to everything?
If you're talking about like some, oh my god, how to say it, about stories, about feuds, if we're talking about this, there's no difference. Neither we in Ukraine or in Japan or United States. We have guy A and guy B. Guy A have a beef on guy B, and they can. The only difference, they can use the references to the Ukrainian culture.
Yeah.
That is okay, but you know, in general, like this is the same. Like we don't have like such traditional, typical Ukrainian storytelling scenarios or so. Except maybe we have like 2 guys that are in armed forces of Ukraine, and they are actually build accent on this and build their gimmicks based on this.
And I'm just curious with the war. Have you incorporated that in the stories, or do you try and try and avoid that? Sorry.
We're trying to avoid that because, as
Okay.
Costa said, people is coming to our shows to get rid of
Yeah.
the problems, to have some fun.
Let's say we are not avoiding the fact that we are in
Yeah.
the state of war and so on. And yeah, we have wrestlers that are really serving in military, and their gimmicks are reflecting this.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we are not trying to bring, let's say,
Yeah.
the dark side of all of this to our shows. We
Yeah.
are trying not to reflect to the not too much, let's say, reflect to the things that happens on a war,
Yeah.
on a front side.
Okay.
There is actually an interesting detail. We have like a so friendly, cozy audience in the show, like live guests, and they always do the chants, and sometimes they are doing like political chants, but we are okay with that. We appreciate that,
Yeah.
especially when it comes about the,
Yep.
the current political situation, let's say.
Yeah. Graham, do you want to come in there?
Yeah, I will avoid anything controversial. But does your role as a writer make the commentary role easier? Because we know that as viewers, we rely on the commentator to fill in the blanks for the story that's being told, the parts round about what's happening in the ring. So, as one of the people who's writing those stories, does that then mean that as a commentator it's easier for you because you know what the story is, you know where it's going, you know what beats you want to hit?
In wrestling stuff like writing or like commentating, I'm using that short-term memory. For example, I came up with the idea, the guys made some booking sessions, we wrote a script, we wrote some storylines, and then I just forget about it. Then I watched the show, I commentated the match, which I do not know how the match will go. So I'm really wondering, I'm really surprised for some moves. I'm really think, are they crazy to doing what they are doing? And speaking about storylines, I just have like a brief memory from the previous show I have commented. That's cool to have like good short memory on these cases, and you can see something and you can see it from like after some period of time and like, oh, I didn't see it before. Oh, this looks nice. Did I wrote it? Oh, whoa.
So it makes it more of a real response on commentary than.
Excuse me, can you repeat please?
Yeah, it sounds as if because of the short-term memory, it means it's more of a real response on commentary rather than, scripted. Because, like you say, you don't know the outcome, you don't know what's going to happen.
I don't have scripted commentaries.
No.
All goes from the bottom from my heart.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's all from your heart.
Yes, as usual. All that I do for Ukrainian wrestling, I do from my heart.
Yeah.
As all the guys in the roster, as all the backstage, all the production guys, all of us are doing it from our heart because. When you do from your heart, it's like it feels real. You like spread the vibe.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Jake and Consta, like with Yaroslav's writing, has there been any storylines where you've been, oh, I don't know, and you've been surprised? He's proved you wrong, maybe.
Yes, I'm not too much involved in story writing. Yeah, I'm also the part of the team, but I'm mostly like approving or disapproving some ideas, and yeah. But sometimes I just let the guys do some things, some scenarios, and then I like, wow, it was cool. And when I'm also watching the show, it yeah, I actually, okay, I know what should happen, but I know it just like in general, not in
Yeah.
details. And when I'm watching the show, I like, oh wow, it looks cool, or this part is I don't like it, or something like this. But I'm not always, but mostly surprised
Uh,
by how the things go. But to be honest, when Yaroslav started to join our writing team, uh, yeah, as he said, I was a bit skeptical, uh, just because it's because no one before in Ukraine wasn't doing wrestling thing, and we were all doing this for the first time, and I was like, okay, I already was here like a few years, and he's a new guy. I was a bit skeptical, but uh, after a few first ideas which he came up with, sorry, um, after that, I have realized, yep, it's cool ideas and cool storylines, and the guys can show themselves. I
yeah.
mean, wrestlers can show their characters, can explore them,
Yeah.
make good connection with the people, with audience.
There is actually a part when the wrestlers came up with some storyline ideas, and we like just a bit setting them up, like small fixes, and
Yeah.
also this take place because we are working with the whole roster, they are working with themselves, and sometimes we need to like edit a bit, not to make themselves booking Pagan Jabroni,
I was going to ask Jake there, how do you find working with Yaroslav? Do you get quite a bit of input into your stories and character, or I mean, is it quite collaborative, the process you have with him?
Yeah, when Yaroslav joined the booking team and just like the internal team inside of the internal team, uh, he's like very passionate. He sometimes we butt heads, like because sometimes we like disagree or something. Sometimes he would like proposes stuff, but because he doesn't like have as much experience, sometimes like we can disagree on that and all this stuff. But for me, for me it shows that he wants to like learn and he wants to like contribute, and I feel like he does like a really great job as a commentator. He does a really great job as a ring announcer, and his input into the creative process is always like is very nice because he's just like generally a nice guy, so he sometimes can find common ground with a lot of guys who would otherwise butt heads with me or someone else more, because I'm more of a hothead. I would be like, no, this is stupid, we're not doing that or something. But Yaroslav would be like more mellow and he would like, okay, let's try to find a compromise. And then I would be like, okay, you're right. We should find compromise.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's not gonna be productive. So yeah.
Yeah, and with that, is he also Yaroslav? Has he come up with ideas for your character? We're like, oh, that's right. Just something unpredictable, but just seems to fit your character right. Has that happened as well?
I would say maybe not like something that like was super like oh my god, because again, like in the war environment, something that would be like controversial, it's something that we're trying to avoid most of the time. So I would say it's more of a we're trying to be safe, but also like see where we can push it in terms of being safe and not like causing any controversy.
And I suppose this is just a general question for all you. So you start doing a wrestling promotion while a war is on. Like, what's some of the most, I don't know, extreme things that have happened whilst you've had a show on? Like, have bombs started dropping, have sirens gone off, and like, how do you cope with that?
it's not a rare thing, let's say, during the shows. So we have most of the time we were lucky, but we have few shows where it was rocket attack and so on. So we were used to stop the show and move to the shelter, then go back and continue.
Right.
Yeah, it was a few times like this. Also, we were. I think it was last year. This music event we were taking part of. This is a TV show. How to talk this? Our Vision. Last year, and during the concert, also the rocket attack starts. Also everyone went to the shelter, and I think this was last time when we have stopped the show and moved to the shelter.
It's like, I know for myself on good, it's quite just people just stop and then everyone just takes their seats and everything starts again. Is that what it's like?
And most of the time we are trying to at least finish the match.
Yeah. Right.
But then ring announcer says, sorry, we got rocket attack. We need to move to the safe place.
All right.
Yeah, and like to complete Kostya's thing, not only on wrestling shows, also we have like in cinemas. You watching the film and right when the air alarm starts, they like sorry, there's the air alarm, please leave the cinema, or in theater as well. So we like just getting used to it.
Okay. Graham, do you want to come in there?
Yeah, I
Also,
was going to go with that.
Just can I quickly add small
sure.
thing? Also, every time when it is a rocket attack or something, I don't know about other guys. I'm always sitting and checking the news because hoping that rocket will not fly into our arena and so on. Just when we are not there, just to be sure that on one morning we will not lose everything. Actually, I had this situation before once. Our first arena was burned. And we lost our first ring and many other things, but it's not because of war. It's another story. But so we have sad experience losing everything, especially our ring. So it's every time. So let's say every day there is a rocket attack. Personally, I'm a bit nervous, even if I'm not, let's say, in a danger area because of the ring of arena. So.
All right, Graham, you can. Graham, are you there?
It's probably a silly question, but is it?
I think you've got a delay on you.
Have I froze?
Yeah, I think if you can hear me now, I think there's a delay.
Okay. I'll type it in the chat and you can ask on my behalf, Cal.
All right, okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's suddenly a delay on everything. And so, like, have you had much outside interest in the promotion? Like, have you been surprised that you've got any outside viewers at all?
Not. For the first time, when I first saw that we got some views from USA, from Great Britain, from other countries, I was a bit surprised because we were never trying to expand on that auditory and so on. We never did English commentary for our shows and so on. But yeah, it was surprising. But then we have started to work with wrestlers from other countries. Uh, I I'm trying to remember. I think Stanislav Van Dobronek from Sweden was the first international wrestler that came to
Yes.
WA. Yeah. So we started to work with wrestlers from different countries, and of course after that we were noticed, probably more. Yeah. So. Now I'm not really wondering, but I'm still happy to know for every viewer, for everyone who watched us. I'm still happy. Yeah, and yeah, it's really cool to know that people from all over the world are interested in Ukrainian wrestling. It was really cool to found it, and I'm still really a bit surprised, and yeah, have this warm feelings inside. Let's say.
Yeah. So I was going to say, Graham's put his question in the chat there. So this is to all of you guys. What's been the most pleasing thing about doing Ukrainian wrestling overall? Just for each of you, what's been the most pleasing or the most proud moment you've had? I think Konstantin will go to you first.
I think the most pleasant thing is doing wrestling, for me at least. So I was. I don't know, as for other guys, for me it's like a drug, I can say. I was burned out a few times. I was thinking like, fuck it, I don't want it anymore. I just want to forget everything. And then after a few days, I have an idea. I want to do something. I have a promotional idea. I have a new idea how to promote the show and so on, so on, so on. And you just got back and got back and got back. This fire inside you keep burning, let's say. So, yeah, for me it's just pleasure to doing it. And the most let's say pleasurable moment when I think we will have more such moments in the future when when I see that people love the show, that they feel happy after the show, that they gave us emotion, that they're emotionally connected to what they see. For me, this is the most pleasant moment. So when I see, when I'm watching our shows and see the people reacting, people are all there in that story that goes onto the ring. And yeah, this is for me. This is the most pleasurable moment.
All right.
Thank you.
Jake, what would you say is your proudest moment doing Ukrainian wrestling?
You know, I wouldn't say that it's something that I did myself, but since I've been helping a lot of the boys with producing their matches, for me, I always feel the most satisfaction is when I help to put a certain match together and to see it work when crowd really reacts to everything that we planned out, and just see, or like for example, I extensively worked with one of the guys and just seeing him like progressing with every show, and like him and like a lot of the boys noticing his progress and starting like to compliment him on this, and I feel like a little bit of that is because not like because of me, but I feel like a little bit of my own accomplishment that he gets those praises and that he really like takes the advice to heart and that it works as well.
Okay, and Yaroslav, what would you say has been the proudest thing about doing this?
When I used to be a ring announcer, I used to ask the audience in the Porter pub who came at first to the show, which people have the show as the first one ever. When I see the people raising their hands, and I'm telling that the other people who didn't raise their hands, just applause them because they just joined the big Ukrainian wrestling arena family. That's always every single show when I see this, when I'm asking the same question, I see this reaction, and I'm mostly pleasant when a lot of people just putting their hands up. And I think, that's what we're doing. And if the new people comes to our show, that we're doing it somehow right.
All right. There was a question I had for Konstantin. It's like, as I've did a little bit of research and I looked into Ukrainian there doesn't seem to be a lot of women wrestlers. Is it just a problem trying to sell this to persuade women in Ukraine to take up wrestling? Is it something you would like to see more women getting into it?
Yes. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it's because not many girls are. But no, there are a lot of girls involved in martial arts in Ukraine and so on. But I don't know. Maybe because it wasn't profitable or something. There were always not too much girls in wrestling in Ukraine. So so maximum we have, I think, 4 at the same time. And after most of them were from Odessa, and when we moved to Kiev, they stopped taking part in shows. But to be honest, it's a small secret. We are trying to rebuild, let's say, a women's division. So right now we have few girls that are training. And hopefully they will debut soon.
That's good. And I tell you, something you would like to grow.
But it's really hard to get girls into the wrestling in Ukraine.
Is it just something like? Is it still quite traditional that there's certain sports just for girls and maybe the fighting sports are? Is there still that maybe thing in the society that they struggle with?
Yes, possibly. Also, wrestling wasn't so popular before, so it's not so widely popular now, but let's say it's growing, the audience is growing, recognition is growing, let's say. So this for quite amount of time we started to took parts in national TV programming, not as a wrestling show, but with some kind of wrestling stuff, let's say, for these music events. Also different podcasts starting to invite wrestlers and so on and so on. So probably now when we will be more visible, let's say, something will change.
Hope so. I mean, good to see. What we'll do is, Graham, you can come in and ask your questions once I finish this, and just I won't say anything else after this. You can come in if you've got any final questions. Oh, it was comments. All right. Okay. I thought it was questions he had there. So I think we're coming up for 1 hour, so we usually finish up here. So I think I'll just go around to everyone, just your final thoughts, and if you have some words for everyone out there, just give us your final thoughts. So we'll go the last man to appear, Yaroslav. Any final thought and just your overall feelings on things?
During this podcast, I thought about like different things I hear and write about the Ukrainian wrestling arena, and maybe after this meeting, after this podcast, after this interview, people who watch it live, hi, or people who watch it after the recording somewhere in the future, maybe they will understand how it is difficult, how it is stressful, how it is sometimes painful. We, all of us, me, Kostya, Jake, all of us have had like this burnouts. For some time I left the Ukrainian wrestling arena. It was like for 4 months or 5 months, and after all I'm here. And maybe people who that's watching this podcast, maybe they will review their opinion about the Ukrainian wrestling arena, about the storylines, about how does it work, about that fact that we're trying our best to be the best for the best people who are watching our shows, not even in Ukraine but around the world.
Yeah. And Jake, I'll bring you in there.
Yeah, I would agree with Yaroslav, but besides like just Ukrainian fans, I would really like to see. I would really love to see more people get involved in Ukrainian wrestling, not only inside Ukraine but also outside, because I mean we get some wrestlers who are writing to us about if they want to wrestle for Ukraine and all this stuff, but it would also be nice to see more international fans recognize UWA and just share the videos and maybe report on it, whatever, all kinds of stuff. Like I think UWA needs more active fans in that regard. Not to say that we don't have, but the more you have, the better.
Constantine.
Yeah. As a final words, first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting us. Yeah, it was a great pleasure. And regarding the final thoughts, I think Ukrainian wrestling arena in Ukraine, it's not just like a regular wrestling promotion. Yeah, but because of situation and so on, it is like more cultural platform that combining sports, performance, community expression, and it's I'm really happy that we can give people some positive emotions, some moments to live with, to really get relief from everyday life, everyday stress, and so on. And what I want to also as a message, let's say, to people that haven't watched us before, join us, come to our shows. By the way, tomorrow we will have a show Adrenaline in Kiev. So, join us on YouTube, on social networks. We are always happy to see new faces, new fans. And thank you again for inviting us.
Oh, no problem at all. Graham, we'll bring you in there on the delay.
Give it a try. It's been an absolute honour and a pleasure to speak with you, gents, and I wish you and Ukrainian Wrestling Arena the very, very best. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just extend that, wishing you the best, and as always, we're hoping for peace and better times ahead for your country as well. And to let you know, like everyone, even the people that you haven't seen on this podcast, we are all with you, and the people of Ukraine, we stand with you more than proudly. We stand alongside you.
Thank you.
And sorry, and one last thing, Constantine, if people want to reach out and find you, where can they find Ukrainian Wrestling Arena if they're interested?
We are presented on YouTube. Just type Ukrainian Wrestling Arena. You will find us. Instagram, UWA_Ukraine, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere, even on Twitter, X. Yeah. So, yes, please go ahead, find us. We will be happy.
Yes, I think we're more than happy to help promote you. And with that, as always, Graham, I know you'll tick me off if I don't say support independent wrestling and support Ukrainian Wrestling Arena in particular. I think they're making some incredible stuff and they deserve every bit of your support. So with that, thank you, Konstantin, Yaroslav, Jake, and unfortunately Adam. What I think we'll do is we'll get Adam on his own and we'll have him on when he's not in transit. And we'll get him to have we can have a one-on-one interview with him at some point. So with that again, guys, thank you so much for coming along tonight, and we wish you all the best, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening and watching, and take care everyone, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Right.